Hey, we are going to look through, or I'm going to tell you about my experience and review of Scarefest 2023 at Alton Towers Resort. Now, I have made a list of negatives and positives, and I'm telling you now there were way more negatives than there were positives, which is a negative thing. I mean, when I say I've got more positive, I literally got one positive on my whole list. It's not even worth counting. So, let's start with the positives, because if I went through the negatives, I'll never get to the positives. So, my first positive thing was. My first and my last positive thing was the Curse at Alton Manor, because it's the only thing on my list. Um, Now, I did just go with this earlier, but, I stopped it, and yeah. Anyways, so, Curse at Alton Manor, amazing. I absolutely love the atmosphere of that ride. I love how quick the queue line is. Even it had 45 minutes, because I know the queue lines yesterday were horrendous. That's a negative thing, which I'll go into later. But the queues were amazingly fast, because it's always a fast feeding ride. And I also love the John Burton additions to the ride itself. One good addition was that when there was a dark bit after you've gone up the Trommel Tunnel, and it used to like turn as you went through it, turns and turns, and you've got the big clock in front of you, it also turns. Emily Alton then goes, let's play hide and seek. You then go into this dark bit, or what used to be the dark bit. Now, since Scarefest, they've upgraded the Cursor Alton Manor, and they've put in they've added the lighting to the bits that were dark, because before, the sounding was absolutely rubbish. It was, apparently people were meant to say it's a sounding bit, but no, it wasn't. It was really bad. But now you can actually see the visuals, yet alone the audio, which is stunningly good, because we were all waiting for it. But also the wall. So when you go through the wide entrance, and then you go on the ride, and the ride starts, the wall normally comes out at you. Now, the last time I was here for the Alton Towers Mardi Gras event, it wasn't working, so I love how they've worked it now, and there's multiple and just loads and loads of things working in that ride, which is really good, because, it's better than another ride I first went on yesterday, and that was a really bad downfall for the park. Out of the two rides which opened this year, one of them was significantly good, and that was the Curse. But more on that later. So, Curse at Alton Manor, absolutely amazing. Even at night, I love how the music and the fog, because we saw the guy make the fog effect work because it ran out of fog or something like that. So yeah, it was them working. The permanent fog effect was permanent again. It was going everywhere, and they were just all over the steam, day and night. Even at the Wicker Man, you could see it halfway go over the Gloomy Wood entrance, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I love it at night, because you've got the lights and the light theme, and they even brighten, change colour to the sound of the music. So when the music has different beats, the lights also have the beats, like DJ lights, Just Emily Alton invested in DJ lights. What a party. Party. No, that was such an amazing atmosphere just to witness. And you've even got the glass window, which is broken outside the house for the exterior. And I love you've got Emily in there, and it normally brightens up to say it's smashed or something like that. Which you get again is stunningly good. The only downfall of the lighting was that when you saw the cafe, or I forgot what it's called, this really weird sphere or pentagon thing, normally there's a light at the top. It was not working. That light worked on opening day. So, that's something to fix, but that's minor to how the atmosphere is. And it's probably the brightest. It is the brightest queue line in the whole park, in the whole of Merlin Parks. I've never met a queue line as bright as that. And the fact that it's in the fog as well, it really does give that mysterious tone. You've got the loudness of the music, because the music was definitely louder during the night than it was the day, which I really did pick up on. So yeah, the whole ride is a go-to. They've even upgraded the indoors bit. You're not allowed to film in there now, apparently, but you were allowed to before. Even though many people I've seen do it, but I'm just like, you can't do that. Imagine someone going against the rules. So yeah, the Castle Alton Manor is probably the best ride out the whole park. Many people may disagree with me, but from my experience yesterday, yes. Now, moving on to the negatives, because, I've got like 15 million of them, and I've only got one positive. Now, the first negative on my list was the ride availability. So, it was raining yesterday, and we barely got on any rides. We went to the park, Thinking Smiler was open, it was closed. Galactica was open, it was open, it closed. Then you had Wicker Man, it was closed. At this point, the whole ride should be closed. Our first ride was Nemesis Subterra, because, you know, the Curse was also closed. So yeah, we went to the Curse first, and it was like, the Curse was closed, so we went to Nemesis Subterra, and we got second in queue for that, and I was quite lucky, because throughout the whole day, the ride availability came shockingly bad. We went to the car to have food, and it was like, the Galactica was open at 150 minutes, it closed. We heard the announcement saying, Galactica is closed, please go to these other rides. And it's like, they reopened the ride with 150-minute queues, and I'm like, didn't really close, did it? But yeah, that's absolutely horrendously bad. Even the Smiler was the worst. I was meant to go in that in the dark, because I wanted it to go in the dark. We got on no roller coasters yesterday. We queued in for Rita. The Rita availability was rubbish. 90 minutes. The queue was outside the door. I have never met a ride, not even Rita, with that big of a queue, and it was out the door. It was literally out the start of the queue. And you know the queue of the Rita is, you know, the tyre. It's literally outdoors. And they said it was 90. Now, their ride queue times were absolutely appallingly bad updated, because apparently 13 was 100 when it was literally also at the door. I've never met 13 as quick either, so I'm pretty sure it's more than 100 minutes. Then you had people queuing outside the Smiler, and the staff were like, please come back, no, we have got these rides open, blah, 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 blah. They even said the Curse at Alton Manor, but the Curse at Alton Manor was closed on the queue line, and then it reopened really unexpectedly. I wonder why. But yeah, people were queuing outside the Smiler waiting for it to open, and they were there for minutes, even more minutes. We went to Twistertron, and they were still waiting there, and people were like, oh, please come back and go to these rides. Now, the Smiler did open, and then imaginally it closed. I wonder why. And then it reopened later on with 150 minutes. I wonder where that queue line's come from. All the people waiting outside. Now, also, the worst thing about the queue lines at the Smiler is, you know how they've got that extended bit? They've got, like, you've got outside the door, and then you've got the extended, really big gate, which goes on the outside. They didn't even use that. They made people wait outside of the gate. And I'm like, why? Why would you do that? You literally have an extra queue, which they put in, and they don't even use extra queue. Which yet again was appalling, because why have gate? Why have this metal when you don't use it? What a waste of finite material right there. So yeah, that was appallingly bad. And the ride availability. Now, Oblivion, I know that was closed due to a maintenance part, but we also saw Oblivion being run, because I took a video of it. We were in Twistertron, and the train lift was running, and the hanger lift, the hanger chain was also running. Oblivion's car literally went up the thing and went the whole circuit round with no one on it. And they still said it was closed. It was closed for like the whole day. It's closed today. It's closed tomorrow. It's closed until next year. I wonder why. Probably not its birthday. But it's still not open anyways. But yeah, the fact that Oblivion operated and it ran perfectly fine, and then the next thing you know, it's not open. What a mimic. That's so bad. Why would you test a ride when you clearly know it's waiting for a part and it's not open? That's clearly just telling a person, come here, or go to this place. Or they clearly want the person on the queue, you know, just telling people where to go. Anyways, so that's a different story. And that was the first negatives on my whole list. The second negative is the Innacurate app. So literally, the queue times, like I've already said, you look at it and it's like, okay, you keep refreshing. Updated 5 minutes ago. There you are thinking Rita's queue's like 50 minutes. No, it's 120. That is how significantly bad the app is. And I also don't like how they use location, because you have to turn on your location, which is a power draining thing. But not only that, it is very inaccurate. So you're here in the park waiting for the Wi-Fi. You go to the gardens and you realise you're lost because the Wi-Fi is no longer in the gardens. I mean, who puts Wi-Fi in gardens? Unless trees can imaginary just put in, you know, Wi-Fi. I don't think that will happen. So yeah, you're kind of lost if you get lost in the gardens and you've never been to Alton Towers before. Don't worry, we've been there before. Anyways, so that Inaccurate app is absolutely appalling. And we got another website which is named Ticket Times, which was amazingly good. It used the API for the queues, and my dad gave me that, so that's quite good. So my third negative was Subterra. Oh my god, this ride. Oh, I could kill it. I mean, I know Nemesis is already dead, but I still kill it. This ride was appallingly bad too. Firstly, you had TV screens. Like, I wasn't even in the queue at this point. You were on the exterior queue waiting for it to open. The Phalanx team weren't even in proper, like, acting skills. They were laughing with each other, and I'm like, the Phalanx team's meant to be awfully horrible. Someone please sort them out. It won't be me, because, you know, you've got these two people at the gate waiting for it to open, and the Phalanx team are there, and they're just laughing between themselves, talking to the people. I'm like, aren't they meant to be strict? Aren't they meant to keep this whole facility under guard? Apparently not. I would never trust them to do anything. Imagine that. So yeah, you then enter the queue, and the queue goes all the way back, all the hidden queue you can't see. And you've got the TV screens. Now, the TV screens I've used since 2016, so, well, they haven't used the TV screens, but they've used the TV program thing since 2016. They've just added in the recent commercial things they've done for Nemesis retracking, which I think is horribly wrong again, because you're waiting here outside for Nemesis of Terra to open, and then you've got different audio going, this is a Phalanx public announcement. This facility is under breach of Phalanx. Equipment, Nemesis is a complex piece. I'm like, but the videos are showing me stuff and there's no sound. And it's like, there's meant to be sound to this stuff. And then you hear that on the gate. And then further on down the thing, you've also got a voice saying different. And I'm like, make up your mind. You've got really bad delays in their timings as well. So yeah, you've got the really bad staff. You've got the horrible investment. And even the ride itself was shockingly bad. You have the vibrating elevator, which doesn't actually go down. And then you go through the doors and you've got the drop down. And I'm like, that's also bad. Even though I do like how it goes really loud and it's all flashy lights, but it doesn't drop down straight after that. It's not very expected. And it drops down to find out the eggs underneath. That's pretty cool, but I don't like how the egg switches when you've got a pure egg there and then it's opened when the lights turn back on. And I'm like, that's really simple. But I also like how the steam effects come out, and then there's also a fan pushing the steam effects all the way in, which shows the fact that you're going down. But everything else absolutely appalling. Like, the whole of Phalanx and their HQ is just a walkthrough, and it's so slow. No, and it's like so small and tiny. It's so quick to go through, because the only actor that was meant to be scary was the person at the end. Now, I'm pretty sure there's meant to be many others at the end. No, there wasn't. There was literally one actor just going against the gates, going, get out, get out. And I'm like, I wasn't even doing that. Like, the guy was just shaking the cage, and I'm like, this isn't a very good team. Who invested this team? So yeah, so Terra, also a massive downfall. I absolutely disgracefully hate that ride with a passion, because it's so short. It does not have a theming to it. It has a theming, but really bad theming. It is not, the actors can't play properly, and the whole ride is just awful. Like, literally, it's not even a ride. It's like a flat ride, which really is short. Right, my next significantly bad thing. I keep using these words. Why? I can't see. So then we've got the lighting. Yes, so we were there for the night, and we kind of went out at like 4. I think it was like 4. And it was pretty dark at that time. Now, the lighting to it, I've already said about the Curse at Alton Manor and how the little refrigerator, oh god, it's a refrigerator now, not a refrigerator. The little food stall place doesn't have a light at the top, which it normally did during the first time we saw it. So yeah, that was a bad investment. You also had so much lighting when going through the Gloomy Wood pathway. So much lighting from the Wicker Man, but the Wicker Man's shoulders weren't even blazing up. That's a significantly bad thing. Why do I keep saying significant? Oh my god. You've also got the, I forgot what you call that thing, where you go down from Hex to the towers. There's no lighting in there whatsoever. And you've got the attic entrance also there, which is also not lit. And I'm like, where's the lighting capacity to do this thing? You also have the towers, which was more lit this year than anything else. What happened to the old live that just ended? My old live that just ended, I kind of ended it because I kind of messed it up. So we roll with it. I've messed up this one a bit as well anyways. The Smiler is also not lit up, even though they pinned an image of the Smiler with all its bright lights there's no bright lights about it. It used to look like that and then kind of died. But yeah, it's all commercial based now. It's really rubbish. The Wicker Man was not lit up. 13 Rita was not lit up. Flavio's Fandango was more lit up than any of those rides. The Cursed Altamana queue line, outside queue line, was more lit up than any other ride in the park, which I find horrible, and that's disgraceful. They were also testing the fireworks lights, which was also bad because you had one lights on this side, nobody knew what it was for, and then you had the other side which was off, and I'm like, that's going to really trigger an OCD person, like myself. So yeah, the most lit thing was probably Funkenfly, the queue for the Cursor Altamana, and another ride, Flavio's Fandango. All the fairground rides apart from one, not even the Phalanx was lit up. And I would really highly suggest that Alton Towers light up the Nemesis. Even though it's getting redone, who cares if your lights get broken during the construction? At least you know you had lighting. I would love to see that really red, bright red, more red, because it literally was just a red lighting area. So yeah, I would really love to see red lighting over Nemesis, because you know it was red, more red, even more red. You literally couldn't even see the white track anymore. It's just red. So yeah, I don't know if you can see the white track anymore. But anyways, I don't like how Nemesis is also black, because it kind of doesn't blend in. Wow, it blends in with the night, and then when you try and put lighting on it, and I'm just like, what onto the red. Now, I also saw the Nemesis construction, and it looks amazing. I love what they've done to the station. I love what they've done to the entrance of Nemesis, how they've painted that black. But the track, it's looking old a bit. But that's for a different thing. Anyways, so next thing, investment. The investment was appalling. They're adding Project Horizon, but can't even invest in the stuff they've got. The lighting, for example, it's appallingly bad. The gardens used to be lit up, and I took a photo of the gardens last year. Compared to this year, I've got to post it, but it is not lit up whatsoever. So that's out of the question. You also have no investment in the Smiler, and how that's like really rusty now. You've got no investment in the like different scare mazes. You've got Daz Games, but I mean, come on, Daz Games, that's new, but that's run by Daz. And they also don't have investment in the frogs. Why weren't the frogs on? The frogs at the start of Tower Street was not even on. I'm just like, why? So, overcrowding. Now, I have heard many people also say that Thorpe Park was overcrowded and letting too many people in. I can officially confirm that. I got on no roller coasters yesterday due to queue times being 150 minutes odd, and it stayed like that. The Wicker Man and Smiler, when they opened, were 150 minutes, and there the team were going, go to this ride, but people didn't want to go there. They wanted to go to the Smiler. Now, I don't get how people go on the Smiler 7 times in a day, but yesterday it was near on impossible to get on any ride. So we did all the flat rides yesterday, and we took our time. It's just appalling. I really hate how overcrowded they make that place, especially on the 30th of October. I mean, come on, you got Daz Black. You even have to wait for Daz Black. Oh, and you had to wait for guest services. I messaged the Alton Towers Resort, and I went, I feel that this place is overcrowded. I am disgraced with I'm not happy with the queue times. And I also said something, I forgot what I said, about the lighting. And they came back to me saying, we can't take in feedback. Why? Why can't they take in feedback? It's literally what Alton Towers like. They literally say, if you have any queries, go to them. So I went to them, and they told me to go guest services, which was the queue was halfway down to the booking place. I mean, come on, that's awful. And they asked me where I was, but Alton Ancestors wasn't even out until like 3 o'clock. And I'm like, but they were out last year, they were out the year before, they were out way before, they were out during the day, they were out in the morning. Why at night now? So yeah, that's also really bad. I also went in the dungeons, which was also a positive, because I love the dungeons. You have to pay for it, but we got a cheaper for Merlin discount, and that was a positive. Forgot to add that in. The dungeons go through Molly Crow. You got different areas. Got the boat ride, which it's a little bit better than the London one, but the London one's better because you got that drop backwards thing where you get wet. But it takes a good... they're just two different things. You've got Staffordshire. But I also don't like how they've got projectiles with people's faces on, because that kind of takes people up the job. But we roll with it. It is what it is. And then my last negative, which I've already said, is guest services. Don't and won't take feedback from Insta. It's like you kind of contact Instagram and they don't even take a feedback. They just told me to go guest services. Why aren't they guest services? It was literally out the door. The queuing was awful. This has been the worst event in history of Alton Towers I've known. Like, it wasn't like this 2016. Wasn't like this last year. It's absolutely appalling. And I'd say they have to sort it out. I am really, really angry because we went to go to the park. My dad got his driving licence back. It was like, okay, let's go to it. And no, we couldn't get on anything. Anything we loved, we just couldn't get on. And I'm like, how is it not like this during the Curse at Alton Manor opening? And then you look at it and it's like, how the hell do they get that many people in the ride? Like, in the whole park, how do they get like over 100 and something odd people in the park? That's 150 minutes for the Wicker Man and Smiler together at the same time. That's a stupid amount of people. Who does that? And then I can't even book today for my annual pass. And it's closed tomorrow. Sort it out. Alton Towers, that's all I'm going to say. I'm ending with a really negative approach. But yes, sort it out. Now, I am going to go. Smile always, I have got Chessington tomorrow, and I've got Legoland Thursday. So smile always, and remember to subscribe, like, follow, whatever. And yeah, bye guys.